Hello, boxing fans around the world. Welcome to another episode of Talking Fight, where we've got the Friday night panel all lined up, not only located here in Canada, but across the pond in England as well. Joining us from Last Call. Woohoo! Finally, we get some toe-to-toe action, and no conversations will be had about Lennox Lewis fighting for Canada and winning gold.
That's outrageous.
Hey, you know what? There's been a lot of talk right off the hop. I'll tell you, right. There's been a lot of talk on this side of the pond about Katie Taylor going toe to toe tomorrow against Natasha Jonas. I'm not going to start the conversation off that way, but I can't believe how much chatter there is about that particular fight. And it just shows how far women's boxing has come in the past year alone. It's come a long way. Anyway, what's on your guys' minds? Let's start off with you, Carl. What do you think?
Yeah, so you could argue, Graham, that's going to steal the show tomorrow night. You could argue that's the biggest fight on the card.
I would argue.
I think Natasha Jonas might fall a little bit short, but it's going to be a very, very good fight. Hold on a minute, Mike. Let me have my say, then you can jump in, Mike. Come on, that's the way this rolls.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
I'm just agreeing. I'm just agreeing. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I just believe that Natasha Jonas falls a bit short, but it's going to be one hell of a fight. I believe Katie Taylor wins on points. But yeah, what a great fight. Yep. Mike, do you want to win that, Mike? Come on.
No, honestly, if you watch the show earlier, I did my female Friday. I said the exact same thing, man. Katie Taylor, points, it's going the distance. You know what? Natasha just falls a little short, and she does 100%. She's gonna fall short. Like, honestly, it's a rematch. 9 years in the making.
Yeah.
They fought in 2012. Let's be real. 2012, Natasha didn't have anything then. You know what I mean? And she really hasn't stepped her game up too much since then. But I think it's gonna be. I do think though. After watching the Bridges Courtney fight, I think these women are gonna show us really what's going on in the women's boxing right now.
Yeah,
it's gonna steal the show.
I think the men could learn a lot in terms of the best fighting the best. I think there's not too much political interference in the women's game at the minute.
Yeah, exactly. The women don't give a shit about the politics, man, and it just goes to show you, what Eddie Hearn said it best, man. Champions fight champions, and when you put those guys together and you get those champions to fight champions, it makes for a hell of a fight and an excellent, exciting show. And honestly, yes, Katie Taylor, they're going to steal the whole weekend. And this Katie Taylor fight is stealing the weekend.
One thing I would like to bring up, and me and Ray have been talking about this throughout the day in the UK. Del Boy Derek Chisora threatening to walk off the show because he's had to ring walk first. Have you heard that over in Canada?
I haven't heard that yet.
Yep.
You'll be hearing it shortly. It was a coin toss.
Wow.
It was a coin toss, and Derek Chisora lost the coin toss. Joseph Parker won the coin toss. You got to remember, these cats got no belts.
Right.
So who comes in first and who comes last is still a big deal. But it's all mind games for me. It's all mind games.
David H trying to talk him out of leaving the show as we speak. By all accounts, he's boxed all his stuff up, ready to go.
It's a bitch move, man. If he does that, straight up.
If he doesn't fight, he doesn't get paid. So I can't see him walking away.
No, exactly.
Right,
you know what? Right. It's not like these guys. When was the last time he stepped in the ring? Like Chisora fought. What was it? Alexander Usyk. It was his last fight or something.
Yeah.
No, but supposedly, guys, in the contract, Eddie Hearn says he'll get paid as long as he's coming on weight. So that does change the ball game a little bit. By all accounts, he's stipulated as long as I know the heavyweight is no particular weight, but
I was going to say. They don't need to make weight, so I don't that way.
What Eddie Hearn was saying was, as long as you're successful at the weigh, and whatever that may mean in legal jargon, he will get paid. So,
honestly, at this point,
maybe
let's be real. If if he walks just because he doesn't get to come out whenever he wants, let's be real, man. It's the Katie Taylor card. Nobody's gonna give a shit, right? So you want to act like a baby and cry because you don't get what you want?
Parker beats him anyway. I know Ray don't agree, but Parker beats him anyway.
Chisora beat him.
I think Parker's gonna beat him as well.
No, I don't think Parker's got any heart or desire left.
Really?
I think he stepped up against anyone decent. He got found out.
So you're thinking Parker just needs a paycheck?
I just don't think. I think the idea that he moved to Ireland to be trained by Andy Lee, who's a decent trainer by the way, is a smoke screen. I think he's got out of New Zealand for other reasons. I think in his last fight against Junior Fa showed really what level and what mind Parker was at. I think he put Parker in with somebody who's got. Chisora just doesn't care in that ring, but he comes forward. He throws a lot of punches.
Yeah,
I don't think Parker's got a strong enough jab to keep him at bay, and he doesn't have power. So what's he going to do?
Ray, I've got them rose tinted glasses on again for you, like last night. Them rose tinted glasses.
We'll see. You'll be wearing them shortly, pal.
So Bivol is on that fight as well. Do you think Dimitri Bivol's got a chance? What do you think?
Yeah. Do you want to go first, Mike?
Sorry?
Yeah, honestly, I like Bivol. You know what? Honestly, I think he's just gonna come in and run house, man. Last couple times I watched him, he has this like, he's got this game plan and he follows it so well, and he destroys everything he hits, man, and his record speaks for itself. Was he 17-0 going for his 18th?
Yeah, he's undefeated.
Yeah, he's undefeated. Like I profiled him on the show a couple months back. And we talked about him, man. And honestly, I'm excited to see him get in the ring, man. I've been waiting to see him, get in there and do his thing again. And I think he's just going to come.
Do you think he beats Bataviev?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man.
I don't think he beats Bataviev.
But yeah, you know what? I support him. I'm behind him. I think he's gonna do well, man.
So Bivol's been out of the ring for a while, so there'll be a bit of ring rust there. But but he walks through this guy. He walks through him.
Craig Richards shouldn't be in the same ring as him.
No.
I don't know what's happened with the rankings. That's another example of the rankings just being crazy. But Bivol will show his class, and then Bivol will get him out early. I think his height and reach will cause Bivol some early problems, but I think once he figures that out, he'll get rid of him.
Yeah, definitely.
Ray, it's like putting Lucien Butte in with Carpenter.
Did you see how you walked in there?
It's a mismatch.
You know who I'm looking forward to seeing on that card as well is Ricky Hatton's kid.
Yeah, it wasn't a great first performance, was it?
Yeah. No.
I'm hoping he settles down a little bit in the second performance. I think he will. And just don't use that nervous energy. Don't use it all up on the ring walk. But he's got a lot of expectation on them young shoulders. That's all I would say. Yeah. It's a big name to carry, especially in Manchester.
That's right.
It's a big name to carry anyway. I think I've said it before. If I was managing Campbell Hatton, I wouldn't have him on these big shows because you're just going to get that nervous energy. You got to remember, guys, he never had an amateur career, so this is all very new to him. He's in with a guy he's sparred before. He's lost 4 fights. It's a perfect opponent for him, and hopefully he just needs to relax in the ring, and he also needs to realize that this is a man's sport.
Did you know him, Ray?
No, I didn't know.
That other kid looked nervous as Ray. He just looked like he didn't want to be there. So that I think Campbell Hatton will walk through him tomorrow.
Hopefully he does. Gives Campbell a bit of confidence, but I think Campbell needs to realise. I think he realised after his last fight how he was panting after an interview. I've never seen a debutant panters be out of breath like that. I think he realises he's in with grown men, and his men are so much physically stronger, even the journeyman, than the little amateurs he was boxing.
So Graham, let me ask you a question, and you, Mike. What do you guys think of Eubank Jr.?
I was just gonna ask you guys.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier.
You know what? Honestly, I like does Morrison take him the 10 rounds? Does Morrison win? Like, I don't know, man. That's a tough one for me, man. I like Eubank Jr., but I don't know, man. For this one, I think this is a pretty evenly matched up fight, to be honest.
I think you got split. I think you got splinters. Come on, give us.
I can't, man. That fence is so like stuck right in between, man. I can't even get it off.
Makes a bit like
okay. There we go. I got off the fence there. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna say it. Eubank goes the distance.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean, for me, Morrison's tailor-made for Eubank's style.
Correct.
I think Morrison will just walk forward, and I think Eubank, his best assets, apart from his volume punching, are his uppercuts, and I think that's going to be the key for him. So I think he stops him.
Yeah, you know what? I think he's got the good inside, movement.
Yeah, he's great. He's great on the inside, but that's all he can do really. 4 lots of punches on the inside. But I think the thing with Eubank is he has a habit of fighting these fighters that come forward. Like when he fought Yildirim, that makes him look special. It makes him look spectacular. So people over-exaggerate him. You put him in with a half-decent boxer, he goes missing for 12 rounds. Like George Groves. I mean, where was he?
Right.
I mean, I didn't see him in the ring, did you? So,
it's whoever made that match, man. It was a good match. Honestly, I think those two guys together are gonna make it. I think it'll make for an exciting fight.
Yeah, because I think Morrison will go at it because Morrison's at risk of becoming what we call a journeyman. You know what you guys might call a gatekeeper. He's at risk of becoming that because of his losses and who he's lost to.
Exactly.
He's lost to really low opposition. So I think if he loses to Eubank, that's pretty much it for him.
Oh, he becomes a stepping stone.
That's exactly it.
You don't want to be in the B side of the boxing game. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Right? Like you're coming in, you're fighting in front of nobody and fighting nobodies, and you always got that chance of being knocked out by a nobody, and what does that do? It just tumbles you even further. Right? Like even as a B-side boxer, and you're going to be that gatekeeper, you still got to perform, man. You still got to put on a good show, and I think that if he ends up in that position, that's what's going to happen, man. He'll become that gatekeeper.
But how far can Eubank Jr. go in your opinion, Mike? Into world level? Because I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think he has the right tools in his repertoire to be able to stand with people on the world stage, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Like,
he doesn't carry the power, does he?
Pardon me?
He doesn't carry the power for one.
No.
He's got no footwork. He's got no head movements. He's got no jab. I mean,
he's got the basics and nothing else. He just does the basics really, really well, and that's not enough for world stage, man. World class,
Yeah, I agree.
So what else, guys?
Well, you know what I noticed? Before I jump on something else, are they allowing fans into the arena in Manchester?
No
fans. Oh.
Not yet.
No. Man. Did you guys see last week the fans down in Texas got full fans?
Texas is one of those states that pretty much the coronavirus didn't exist up there, so they pretty much let the fans come back.
That's because all them big Texans shot it away. No coronavirus here! Bang, 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 bang!
Yeah, no, we're behind in the UK.
I'll tell you what, Ray. I need to get on that Corona. What Mike's on? I'm telling you now. I need to get some of them bottles down, man.
No, but
that's what Mike calls the vaccine.
Yeah, it's working.
But what I was saying is I can't believe all the cards that are on this weekend, like around the world. Like,
there's many.
Like I couldn't believe it. Like I stopped taking notes. There's so many fights going on. Like in Mexico,
honestly,
I think Argentina, Philippines. What?
May usually is May is the month that kicks off like all these amazing events every weekend. Like May's the month. May's the month where all the big fights start, all the good things happen. You know, where everybody's got their that splinter out of their ass and they're finally doing some work.
Especially you sitting on that bench.
You know, that last one was in there pretty tight, man. But
I don't
hung me up on the fence.
Come on, Mike. This is a family show. Come on. Behave yourself.
No, listen. It's bedtime over where you guys are, so the kiddies shouldn't be watching. Yeah, there's some big cards, man, all over the world. I've been checking them out, man. There's a couple in Argentina. We got some in Germany. We got some in the Philippines. There's a ton in Mexico. You know, it's just everywhere. But the problem is that so much is not televised, man, or broadcasted or even streamed. It's hard, man. It's hard to see them all. I wish I could see them all. Definitely, because, like we love knockouts, and we got our Sunday show where we try to find the best around the world. So far we're doing well. But man, there's so many knockouts we don't get to see. Like last week, I was telling Graham there was an entire card where all 8 fights ended in knockouts. Every single fight on the card ended in a knockout, like first and second round.
Where was that?
That was over in Germany.
Right.
Like the Germans, I guess they know what they're doing over there, man. They're eating their Wheaties because you get in a card and you're expecting to see a bunch of fights go the distance. You're in and out in 45 minutes. You've seen 8 fights. You're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? We were interviewing someone a while back, and he said that the German fighting scene now has been completely changed because of the influx of former Eastern European immigrants into Germany now, who brought a whole new style of fighting into the German scene. And he said that's really changed, boxing in Germany. Completely changed it.
You've got to remember that's where people like Golovkin and Klitschko sort of like started their careers. Germany got some decent promoters as well. And in Germany, you have a bad reputation where the home fight, if you're fighting somebody from Germany in Germany, you would have to, get a knockout just to get a draw.
Yeah, a bit like when you're in Canada. You got to knock the guy out, or you ain't getting a decision.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
You mean in Canada, if we can actually get a fight going on?
Mike, there is this weekend out in British Columbia.
I know there is one in BC. Yes, that's true. We'll see if there's any knockouts there.
I mean, it's like, I'm not kidding, guys. 5,000 miles. It's closer to England than to British Columbia from where we are. So.
I mean, I am intrigued by Andy Ruiz at the weekend. That'll be good viewing to see what he's like at the weekend, because he's a dangerous cat, that guy, isn't he? He's a dangerous cat.
Yeah. Definitely. Ruiz is a dangerous cat, man. That's for sure. And I think that's gonna be good.
If you take away Joshua Fury, he's the best for me.
Bit early for me to say that, Ray. Bit early.
I think he's better than Wilder.
What about what's he doing against someone like Joyce?
Well, Joyce has only had one fight against Dubois. Really,
Styles make fights over. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, he's got a good jab. He's got a good jab, but I've seen enough from Ruiz to make me think he can negate that jab. Yeah. You tell me who Joyce has fought, who's got the movement, the ring craft.
Look, I'm just saying. I like.
I think he's got. Joyce. Joyce for me would beat somebody like Usyk.
Yeah,
you walk through him.
Doesn't have the physicality. Ruiz has got that physicality. I think one of Ruiz's problems was his weight was holding him back, and he just wasn't dedicated. He seems to have got rid of that now. He just needs to be consistent.
But Ray, all the time. Playing devil's advocate, Ray. I don't like arguing with you, as you know from Thursday nights. But has he got the physicality at heavyweight now? He's lost all that timber. Sorry, for our Canadian friends, that means weight. Now he's lost all that weight.
All the weights you're talking about.
Yeah.
We don't measure things in stone.
Yeah, come on, Mike. Play nicely tonight, Mike. Play nicely.
I think he will. I think he will. I
You
think
can see where I'm coming from, though, can't you? You know,
yeah.
he's
But I
boiled
think
down.
he is. I think he'd be in and out. I mean, he's lost 2 stone, and I think at heavyweight, it's different from your smaller weights when you're losing weight and you're losing that strength.
Yeah,
I think you can still retain your strength, and I think stamina-wise, to be fit.
See, as a heavyweight, it takes a lot for you to lose your strength. Like over the years training, it takes a lot for you to lose your strength. But with the weight you do lose, you gain speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Big time.
And he already had a lot of speed anyway.
And I'll tell you, when you mix speed with power, you know, and you speed up that power becomes more power, right? You'll hit harder, you hit faster. It's gonna make it. But you know what? Like Ruiz and like that fight, they've been circling each other for years, man. Like this fight has been, you know, talked about for a while.
But mate,
Ruiz shocked the boxing world.
Ariola's got nothing left.
Pardon me.
I was just saying, like Mike, Carl, Ariola's got nothing left. I mean, even Ariola, when he first came on the scene about 14, 15 years ago, I don't think that version of Ariola stands up against Ruiz now.
It's a gimme part, it's a Ray.
There's no way. He's battered. He's battered, man. He's been through a war, you know, like he's got what 45, 46 or 47 fights under his belt. He's 38, 6-1 with 33 knockouts, man. He's at the end of a long career that spans 17 years. But yes, he does. Don't fool yourself. He does remain one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the sport. Yes, but are we seeing him in the ring where we know he shouldn't be? Like, you know, where it's like, hey man, I saw that guy in his prime and he was awesome. Is it going to be that kind of fight? You know what I mean? Like, are we going to sit there, watch him get in the ring, watch this guy who's very, very dangerous at one point in his life, you know, huge 17-year career. Are we gonna get the washed up, or are we gonna get something actually good? Like, are we gonna get a guy that's literally at the end of his line, and we know that he shouldn't even take this fight? That's what I'd be disappointed with.
So one question for you guys. Sorry, Graham. Where do you take Andy Ruiz next then? So you're his matchmakers, Mike. Where do you take him?
It depends who wins the Tyson Fury fight.
Exactly. You know what? Like the Fury Joshua fight literally is backing up all the matchmaking in the heavyweight division. This fight needs to happen fast. Like it's just got to get underway, man. So we can.
The rumors over here. There's rumors over here. It's gonna fall flat. You know, why has it not been announced, guys? You know, it's worrying, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, there's stories coming out from Bob Arum, there's stories coming out from Eddie Hearn, stories coming out from Frank Warren. None of them match.
No.
So there's something I'm concerned
it depends who you believe.
That.
You know, Eddie Hearn's telling you it's pretty much done. Bob Arum and Frank Warren are telling you, well, it's not, and we're probably looking at Wilder. It just, for me, it's absolutely, it's almost as bad as Mayweather Pacquiao.
Does it happen? Right? Does it happen?
Does the fight happen?
You know what? If the fight,
yes or no, yes. Yeah.
You think he does?
Yeah.
This fight has to happen. And they all know it.
Nothing has to happen, does it?
No, it does. It does, and this is why. This is why it has to happen. Okay. Your man Lennox Lewis. Okay, and I said your man. Your man Lennox Lewis. Okay? Who temporarily fought as a Canadian because he has Canadian roots. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Last undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, correct? 2003. Yeah.
I can see it now with the Union Jack behind him. Yeah, carry on.
Woo, Britannia.
Okay. So we
got 1-0, Michael. 1-0.
Undisputed. 2003, retire, done, belt. 2004, we have a new belt, a new sanctioned belt, right? We make the 4 majors. There's never been an undisputed heavyweight in the 4-belt era. Ever. This fight has to happen because it literally is going to reignite the heavyweight division that I think has fallen off in the last 20 years.
But the only thing I would say to that, Mike, is the second. So let's say they sign up for a 2-fight deal, which seems likely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The second fight, they're gonna have to relinquish some of them belts anyway, because the governing body is gonna insist on mandatories that just aren't gonna happen. And
there's
that's
so
my
many people
concern.
in line for those belts. Listen, if they sign a 2-fight deal, by the time they get to the second fight, it's not going to be an undisputed match, man. Because some of those belts are going to be somebody else.
Yeah. As long as the first fight is for all the marbles,
yeah,
I'm not really bothered how many belts are at stake in the second fight. Because the second fight, what needs to happen for the second fight is people like Usyk, Joyce need to get on with their little fight.
Yep.
Ruiz, Wilder need to fight for the other belts,
yep.
and then you need to see people coming through. You know, everyone's talking about this big Croatian, Filip Hrgovic. You need to see what he's made of. You know, like he's not, but you know, give him a chance to fight for a belt. Like to Michael Hunter, give him a chance to fight for a belt. So, as long as the first fight for all the marbles, I'm pretty sure that the second fight, that's just for legacy. That's just for bragging rights.
Exactly.
And that'll be Wembley. That'll be Wembley, that second fight.
You know what? It probably would be. I couldn't see the second fight being anywhere else. Why bring
it to the Oma boxing.
But definitely.
What are you laughing at, Mike? I'm dead serious. Bring it to the Oma boxing. the heritage.
That's rich. I love it.
Ray, what's he laughing at, Ray?
He'll be getting on that plane straight to Wembley. To be fair,
You're damn right, I will. You guys got a place for me to stay, right?
Yeah, no bother.
Yeah.
I've got a shed in the garden. No bother.
Hey, that's good. I've slept in.
I thought you were gonna say you got a forest. Bring your tent, Mike.
Yeah,
I don't need a tent, man. Torontonians, man, we're resilient. We last well outside. Don't worry, we got it.
I thought you were gonna say we Irish.
I'm over here.
Well, you've got a damn good Canadian accent for an Irishman, Mike. I'll leave that one there.
You know what? Lennox Lewis has a Canadian accent too, doesn't he?
No. He speaks the Queen's English, my man. He speaks the Queen's English.
Whatever happened to his London Fighting League or London Boxing League, whatever the hell that was called?
Well, we're always going to get there tonight, won't we? So let's bottom this out while we're here then, guys. Last time I looked, his birthplace was West Ham, which last time I looked wasn't Toronto or it's London. So I don't really get where you're claiming Lennox Lewis from. I mean, Ray, come on, help me out here, fella.
I think he just hit the nail right on the head. To be fair, I mean, what happened in the past with the Olympics is whatever, but the guy is British. He represented Britain.
It's like me nipping to Toronto for a 2-week holiday, and all of a sudden calling me Canadian.
Is
it an ambassador of Britain?
Since Lennox Lewis's holiday was what, like 20 years?
Did he get lost in a hotel or something?
His vacation was so long, he decided to fight for Canada for a medal.
All joking aside, I might be not welcome to Canada to this statement, but I'm going to go there anyway. He might have felt pity on your boxing heritage where he thought, look, this country's opened their arms up to me. I should at least give him a gold medal before I vacate back to the proper home of boxing. So I almost see it as it was a goodwill gesture to Canada.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You know what? In the golden era of heavyweights, though, we had a fellow by the name of George Chuvalo, and he was a damn good boxer as well and a damn good man. But
he come from London as well.
London, Ontario.
London, Ontario, for sure.
But don't you think this is what it's all about, guys? The banter, isn't it?
Yeah. It's all good fun.
It's what it's all about, isn't it?
It's all good fun. Yeah.
What do you guys think of Figueroa and the Ramos fight?
Yeah, I like Ramos. I think that's going to be a toe-to-toe war. That one, isn't it? Let's have it right. It's going to be
I think that is going to be a slugfest.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that's going to be a slugfest.
Yeah. I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to get that in the UK, but I'll have to find.
Where does the will? Where does the will? Where does the will?
I will DM you. I will DM you the site to use that I use, and we'll keep it under wraps because we don't want it to ever get shut off.
Graham,
okay. Yeah, you'll have to edit that bit out, but yeah, you DM me that.
It's killing your channel here, Graham. You need to get your lad on that.
What do you call them Canadian cops? What do you call them Canadian cops out in the mountains? What do you call them?
Yeah, Eric, if you're listening, that has nothing to do with me, fella. Get that bottom right corner. Get him out of there.
Here it comes. There it is. I was waiting for it.
Oh, my days. I can't be associated with this activity.
Hey. I thought it was .cc.
No, it's .ic. Yeah, trust me. Go on there. You click boxing. It'll redirect. It's going to redirect you a few times. Just keep closing the redirect and just click on it again, and eventually you'll get.
Yeah, before you know it, Ray. Before you know it, there'll be a picture of Lanny's with a Canadian flag behind it.
Yeah, you just keep hitting that button. You just keep hitting that button, and then your Canadian citizen shows up.
Yeah, you're
the one flag in the background.
I think it's only right that we talk about Billy Joe Saunders next versus Canelo, because the likelihood is that we're on next week after this exchange is remote. I think Graham's going to kick me and Ray both off in a minute.
I love Saunders. I do love him.
So, what's your thoughts? I mean, let's start with the judges situation. Billy Joe is not happy, is he? Because he was told one judge would be from the UK, but by all accounts, the boxing commission in Texas doesn't allow a UK judge to come in and officiate a world championship bout. So I think Billy Joe feels shafted. I don't know if that's a transatlantic term, but I think he feels shafted by Mr. Hearn a little bit. And he didn't like the way Eddie Hearn was going over to see Canelo and very pally. So, not that I'm taking over your show, Graham, but let's start with Mike. Come on, Mike. Give me your prediction. And let's do it.
I'll just sit back and relax while Mike talks. Go ahead.
Yeah, it'll be about 2 a.m. in UK by the time it's finished. So let's do it.
That's right.
Trust me, you guys.
I like Canelo.
Me too. I think Canelo's going to take it. I don't think it's going the distance. I don't see it going past 6. I don't see it going past 6. I think it's going to be an awesome first 2 rounds. I think Saunders is really going to try and bring it. I think Saunders is going to try and end it quick, is what I think. I don't think he's going to try and stand in there and, be a tactician with Canelo and play that game with Canelo's defense, because let's be real, man, when Canelo really gets into the swing of things, he's unhittable. I've watched this guy. Like, he wins limbo contests every time he's in the ring, You can punch at him 1,000 times and, maybe hit him once. And I don't think Saunders is ready to play that game. And everybody that tries to play that game, it just ends in destruction and devastation. So I think Saunders is going to try and bring it to him hard in the first couple of rounds, and then I think it's just gonna, Canelo's gonna warm up, find his groove, and honestly, it's just gonna be it's gonna be a clinic, man. He's just gonna put it on, and I think he's gonna put him away before the 6th. That's my predictions for it.
Just make sure that's recorded.
It is.
Yeah. No, Mike, I would agree. I think it does, you've heard people say, it needs to be at middleweight or whatever. It doesn't matter what weight it is. You can't hit what you can't see.
Exactly.
And Billy Joe Saunders doesn't have anywhere near enough power to make somebody like Canelo think twice. Canelo's too smart in that ring. I think he'll second guess everything that Billy Joe does, and he'll do it well. So every time he steps his lead foot out, Canelo would have already put his lead foot there, hit him, and he'll be on his bike. He'll leave Billy Joe chasing shadows, and I think he'll end up stopping him with a body shot, probably late, about round 7 or something.
I'm going later. I think they're going to have a bit of a look at each other for a good few rounds, and I think Billy Joe's going to be quite elusive. So I think Billy Joe hangs in there until I'm going 9 or 10. I don't sit on the fence like Mike, so I'm going to give you an actual round. I think it'll probably be about. I'm going to go 9 then, Mike, and I hope that's recorded. Round 9, Canelo will stop Billy Joe. Yeah.
It
I'm
ain't going
enjoying
past
this,
the
Mark.
six. It's not going past the 6, so it doesn't matter.
But you've been wrong in every other prediction, so I'll take that with that pinch of UK salt.
Don't worry, I'm gonna sit back, and I'm gonna be drinking my tea with my pinky up.
I don't know where you got outrageous.
He's becoming British already.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I filled out the application.
Yeah. And guess what? We didn't let you in, did we? So
No. I'm still working on. I have to get my drinking up apparently.
Yeah. You have to get that little finger a little bit higher up.
I've been told that I'm still in the rookie stages of drinking, so I haven't pickled myself yet. So that's why my citizenship hasn't showed up.
Yeah, you have to move up a stone.
Even Graham's weighing in now, look. Jesus.
Oh,
I don't. So just coming away from boxing for a minute. You said
how many pints are there in a stone?
Yeah,
not enough.
So you've called yourself an Irishman tonight. So you know the Irish are well known for liking a tipple of Guinness.
Oh yeah.
And you was born in England, was you not, Graham?
Yep, Lancashire.
So where'd your loyalty then, fella?
That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
Hey man, I'm twisted on all this. This is it. I'm kind of like Switzerland in all this.
Neutral.
Swiss. The only good thing from them is their cheese, chocolate, and watches.
So where was you born in Lancashire then, Graham? What town?
I was born in the Fullwood Infirmary, which is in Preston.
Preston. So does that make you a Preston North End fan then? Just talk about football.
Absolutely.
Quickly. Never mind, moving on quickly. So let's get back to boxing.
You know, it's funny. When I went back there a couple of years ago, after my parents had passed away, I went to a P&E game, and it's okay. And I couldn't believe their nickname was the Lily Whites. I thought, what a fucking weird name for the Lily Whites. What the hell kind of name is that?
I've been to Preston because I went to watch Liverpool play in a pre-season friendly. They've got the FA museum at Preston, haven't they? The actual museum of the Football Association. So you know, it's quite a nice little ground. I couldn't get out of Lancashire quick enough, I won't lie, but you know the ground was nice.
Yeah.
So and I understand you guys have been over to the UK, haven't you? You Christian mentions that you've been to Nottingham. Is that right, Graham? You've been to Nottingham?
Yes, my aunt lives in Nottingham.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time touring. Well, let's see. After my parents passed away, I took my family there once, and I took Jay, Christian, and my son Eric, who's producing right now, on what we call a pub and lodge tour. So we went to Belfast, Glasgow, Edinburgh, down through Carlisle, and back into Preston, Manchester. Then we went over to Nottingham to see a friend. I used to work in Bermuda, and one of my good friends, Helen, lives in Nottingham. And the problem is we had nothing to do during the day in Nottingham. So what do 4 young men do during the day when they've got nothing to do?
Well, that's nothing for you.
We had a pint, and then another pint, and before you know it, we'd had a few stones worth of pints. And by the time we met Helen, I can't even remember her friend's name. It's like, hello,
yeah. What you're saying? Anyway, you did Canada Pride on that trip. That's what you're saying, aren't you?
You know what? Nottingham had one of my favorite. Christian would remember the name of this pub, not me. But they had one of my favorite pubs in England in Nottingham because this place played punk and ska music all night long. And I can't remember the name of it. It was a great little pub. And I think they even served Kilkenny, my favorite beer. I had a great time there. They had to drag me out of there. Like I somehow found my way back there, actually. Eric saying, I think it was the Duck.
No, Eric, you've said the Duck to me before, and that doesn't ring a bell, fella, to be honest with you. And I'd know it because I might vacate. I might have been around a few pubs in Nottingham, allegedly.
Yeah, Christian would know.
The wife's gone to bed now, so I can talk honestly.
Skill testing question for Christian when he's on the panel next week. What was that pub we went to? You remember?
Yeah. Would you know if I said it? Would you know if I said it, Graham? So Bit and Pendium's.
You know what happened in that pub? The Nottingham hockey team had a game that night, and they finished. Panthers. So the place got filled with like hockey fans. So here were a couple of Canadian guys at the bar drinking away. The next thing you know, all these hockey fans come in, and I'm listening to punk and ska music, having pints, talking hockey. Like holy shit. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, we're digressing from boxing.
No, I apologize. No, you must get that name to me though. You must get the name to me.
Well, like I said, I think Christian's the only one who can remember. But,
and it's quite interesting how you didn't invite Michael on, but that's for another show. Moving on swiftly. Moving on swiftly.
No, England, Scotland, and Ireland. That trip was just an amazing trip. It really was. We met so many great people. Anywhere we went, we just talked and talked and talked.
We're a friendly bunch, aren't we, Graham? We're a friendly bunch. You know,
we are. And
no, we are. That's what I meant. We are.
It's easy to be friendly when you're half pissed all the time.
Ray, have you heard this outrageous comments, Ray? It's
probably true, though. It's probably true. I mean, how many silver bricks do you see after a certain time?
Ray's on my side. Ray's on my side now.
You've got to be honest. Us Brits, I mean, these guys are probably thinking, going back to the boxing, about the Ricky Hands that come over. None of them were sober. None of them were sober.
Yeah. And go on,
Mike. There's a big fight that I'm excited for this weekend, man. Is the Laura Lamanna for the WBA World Middleweight Championship. I don't know if you guys know this one. Laura was actually the longest reigning 154-pound world champ before he lost a tough split decision to Jarrett Hurd in the title unification match in 2018. He's stepping back in the ring. I think this is gonna make for an exciting fight, man. I don't know if you guys know these guys.
Yeah, we just profiled Jarrett Hurd the other day.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
well, yeah. He took Laura's belt back in 2018. You know, off of the longest reigning 154-pound world champ. So, you know, and now he's stepping back in the ring this weekend, man. I think it's gonna be an excellent fight, man.
Which card is that?
It's actually the Laura Lamanna card on May 1st. You can check it. You can check it out on the what is it, Boxing News 24. They got it up there. It's going to be an excellent bout.
I rated Jarrett Hurd. I mean, I always thought that he was winning his fight just because of his sheer size. He was bigger than everybody else at that weight.
Oh yeah, and then he's a big one.
Yeah, he got beat, didn't he? And then he's come back again. So, but this kid that you're on about, obviously 154's never really been a strong division.
No,
at my eyes. No. He's reigned. It's not as being as strong as what it used to be when you had the likes of, the fighters that have been there in the past. Your Trinidad's, your Margaritos, and then Cotto got in there, you know. But having said that, it's a good record, and obviously this fight will tell us what he's got left.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I want to see, right? Like, you know, you get these guys who, you know, like Laura. Yeah, okay. So he lost in 2018. He bounced back great though. You know, the fight though, it was a split decision with Jarrett Hurd, and honestly, in that unification match, it went down as the fight of the year. And Laura returned from that fight and battled the current 154-pound world champ, which was Brian Castano, and they had an exciting fight that came to another draw, but it didn't go Laura's way. So now Laura has since scored back-to-back triumphs with a knockout over Ramon Alvarez and capture his current world title, and the decision over Greg Vendetti in August. And you know, he's faced a slew of these top 154-pounders in the sport, including Canelo Alvarez ahead of his.
Well, I was going to say, because the Alvarez one's controversial. I mean, I thought Alvarez beat him, but a lot of people thought that Laura beat him. Yeah. You know, so I mean, how did you say? You thought Laura beat him?
No, I thought Canelo beat him.
Yeah, I thought Canelo beat him.
Yeah,
but a lot of people think Lara.
You can, you know what? In close. See, this is why I'm such a fan of not leaving it in the judges' hands, man. Because when it's that close, you know, you're always gonna have shit talking coming from each side. Oh, well, you didn't really beat me. Oh, well, this round was this round was that. You know what? Knock them the hell out, and let's not worry about it. You know what? Don't leave it in the judges' hands. Knock these idiots out, and then nobody can say anything. But I'm so excited to see Lara coming back in the ring. You know, he's bounced back after that. You know, being the longest reigning champ at 154, and you know what? We're gonna get a chance to see if he still can do it. You know.
So, Graham, can I take a couple of minutes just to say what we've got coming up on Last Bell Boxing over the next 3 days? Is that okay with you? Or
absolutely, let her fly.
Brilliant. So, Ray, obviously on Sunday in the UK, we've got a couple of interviews going off, haven't we, with Kieran and such like?
Yeah.
So we got an ex. Do you want to just give a bit on Kieran, Ray? Because you know more about his career than me, don't you, fella?
Kieran was he was a professional boxer. He had his career curtailed quite early on. He suffered a brain injury. Since then, he was unbeaten at the time of that happened. Obviously, he lost in the ring, and he just never recovered. He's ended up becoming a trainer. He's got his own gym, and he's going from strength to strength. He really is doing well as a trainer. He's becoming one of these kind of up and coming trainers, people who go to learn the trade and eventually move on to someone else, but it's giving him experience. Plus, he's got his own gym. He's doing a bit of seconds work in people's corners. He's a young guy as well. He's only been in his mid-30s because, like I said, his career ended quite early on. So he's got a lot of time. So he's a major cook for the show. So we're looking forward to having him on.
And then we've got Carl Greaves coming back on for a part 2. I don't know if your viewers will be aware of Carl Greaves, but he coaches David Avanesian. And the likelihood is that we will get David Avanesian on the channel as well. And we've also got Lee Wood coming on to do a part 2, Commonwealth champion. So we've got quite a few things bubbling away on Last Bell Boxing. So what I will do, Mike, is obviously me and you link up quite a lot on Facebook. I'll be letting you have links to the videos, and then you can do what you want to do with them.
Cool. I'm down. You know me. I don't sleep.
Yeah. But I think we've got.
It's wonderful when I wish you guys a good morning on your way to work, right?
Yeah. And you've not even been to bed normally. But what I think you guys are doing, I think it's really good the setup you guys have got. You know, obviously I jump onto Christian's show. I might not always agree with what Christian says. I think me and him might have to have a bit of an exchange at some point. Especially around his views on UK and how much alcohol intake we take. But he's a good guy. I'd like to get Neil the deal on one of these shows at some point, because it's safe to say that I don't really agree with a lot of what he's saying as well. So, Graham, if you can make that happen, it'll be gold to get him on. But your platform that you guys have got over there, you've obviously worked very hard at what you're doing. I think it's a very professional setup. So I just want to say from the UK, congratulations. I think it's a really good setup.
Keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for the time on the show, because much appreciated. You know, we've got this, let's call it a relationship of some kind. I'm not quite sure how it looks, but it works, guys, don't it? You know, we have frank exchanges, and we all agree that we give them like what's going on in the UK. Mike and Cole gives us what's going on over stateside, and I've said jokingly, you know, Mike's our sort of like stateside correspondent. You know what I mean? Help us.
Yeah. He keeps us in the loop there, and vice versa. You know what I mean? And obviously with his prospect show, he's got his female Fridays, but he's got his prospects as well. That kind of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be good for us guys to feed off each other's shows, you know, and it's
I mean, Mike, you jumped on with us. It's not a bad crack, is it, when you jump on with us?
I love it. Good times, man. It's great. I enjoy every time you guys have me on, man. It sucks that I missed it the other day. I wanted to jump on and get on there with you guys with your last guest, but my interview ran later, and then we had a nice little chat after the interview was over, which was really good. So we've got Jalen Walker coming back to do an interview the week before his next fight and the week after, so we can do a post, pre and post interview. I think in the next week or so, we're actually going to get his father on for an interview to talk about him being a boxer. He was a boxer on the B side. So we're going to talk to him about the B side of boxing, what it's like to raise a kid that is now entered into the pros. And, you can speak to these young guys in the game who, got 100, 200 fights under their belt as an amateur. And you ask them, what was it like? What was this? What was that? Let's hear it from the parent side. What did his father have to sacrifice to get those 200 wins under his belt? What kind of money did it cost? What kind of sacrifices did you have to make to fly your son around the world? And the guy's a trainer now. His son's a pro that's really making headlines right now as he's climbing these ranks with these big fights. And you know what? It's going to be exciting to get his father on. That's going to be excellent, man. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I saw the one that you did on there, Brandon Lee, as well. Because he's a kid I've been keeping a close eye on. Brandon Lee. In my head, I kind of play matchmaker. When you do that thing in the head where you see a prospect and you think, I wonder, this guy's doing well stateside. I wonder if he fought one of our British fighters. I did that with the Australian George Kambosos Jr. I thought when I first saw him, I thought he looks good. Imagine him against one of our British fighters, and he fought Lee Selby and he won. So I'm doing the same with Brandon Lee. I like this kid.
Oh, he's good. He's a good kid. You know who I do like? Ray, you put me on to him the other day. Dennis the Menace McCann.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What's funny? You put me on to him. I profiled him 3 months ago on my show.
Right.
I was already on this kid, and I'll tell you, I love this kid, man. I love the way this kid fights. I think really his ring IQ and his tools are far beyond his years in the ring. He's a veteran right out the game. That's what I see when this kid fights.
An offer I'm happy to make to you guys is, I know Natasha Jonas has promised me to do an interview after Saturday's fight at some stage. If you guys ever want to jump on and jump on when we're hosting these guests, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. So we've got quite a few lined up, haven't we? But like I said, Natasha Jonas has promised me an interview, win or lose, after the fight Saturday. So there's an offer from me, and I come good, Ray, don't I? When I say I'm getting these people on, I get them on.
You pulled out a guest on Thursday. I kind of thought even until the last minute wouldn't kind of come off, just from what I know of that person, and then it came off. So credit where credit's due.
Carl's got the gift of the gab to talk to these people, then, eh?
Well, we're calling the Magic Man. We don't call him the Magic Man for nothing.
What I would say, boys, is as Eddie Hearn's taught North America how to promote boxing, I'm here to support you guys, getting people on your show. There you go. That's an offer from me. but no, all joking aside, when we do get,
as you can tell, he's had a few stones of paint.
But all joking aside, guys, when we do get these people on, I'll let Mike know, Graham, and like I said, you, Graham, or Christian, you're more than welcome to jump on. Anything I can do to support you guys, getting people onto your show. I'm not saying I'm any better than you guys, because I'm clearly not. But many hands make light work, guys, don't they? Many hands make light work. So
that's right.
I think it's a good collaboration we got going on here. Transatlantic. It's clear that me, Graham, and Ray know more than Mike, but we'll work on that. We'll work on that. And Graham,
I think the idea from
I think it's great, Graham, that you support Mike in his development.
The pass over here.
I think it's great, Graham, that you support Mike in his development around his knowledge of boxing. I think it's a great public service that you're doing. And we'll continue to support Mike from this side of the pond.
Definitely.
And eventually we'll get there, won't we? So, yeah. And that's one all for you. That's 1-1 for your tea comment, Michael.
Yeah. I figured.
Yeah, but no.
Oh man, brilliant. Fights are starting soon, gentlemen.
Yeah,
fights are starting soon. 8 o'clock. There's a card. So I think there's a card coming up. So
time flies.
It does, man.
Right on. Well, thanks very much, gentlemen, from Last Call.
Yeah.
Great podcast out of the UK. Thanks, Talkin Fight fans. Mike, you want to take us out with that triple hook?
Definitely, man. Fight fans, thank you again. Ray, Carl, thanks again for coming on. Graham,
don't do it, Mike. Don't do it. Don't do that line, Mike. Don't do it.
Jab that like, hook, subscribe, and knock me out those comments, baby. We'll see you next week on the Friday panel.
Right.